These two women are responsible for the worst Star Wars movie I have ever seen in 32 years of my life. I cannot even believe what the fuck I saw on that screen. Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson have completely ruined Star Wars with their feministic messaging and constant shitting on men systematically throughout the entire movie, which is completely ironic because Star Wars is a male fantasy which is featuring multiple men, and the fan base is also men. Okay, that doesn't make it that doesn't make it sexist. That doesn't make it a wrong thing. Men saw this movie about heroic men, and it became popular because of men. This whole movie, from start to end, all they do is shit on this movie. You know, when you think of Star Wars, what's the one thing you think about? It's Luke Skywalker. Without Luke Skywalker, without the protagonist of this entire film, we have nothing. So, this video, I'm just going to talk about why it was so bad and why me, as a real Star Wars fan, like a true Star Wars fan, like how I'm insulted, how you didn't service the fans, how you intentionally made a shitty movie all for the sake of some political agenda, but more importantly, just to like please women who don't even really give a fuck about Star Wars. Like, sure, if you're a girl watching this, you're probably a Star Wars fan. I'm deep in the Star Wars game. I'm talking like I sit around and wonder like how Mace Windu never gave into the dark side while using Vapad lightsaber form. I love Quinlan Voss. I think he's fucking amazing. I used to play Star Wars miniatures, okay? I used to work extra hours and sell things online and take up little part-time gigs so I could buy those Star Wars miniature pack, those booster packs, okay? I am a real fucking Star Wars fan. Like, hello, I'm wearing merchandise. Like, when I say you have to service the fans, the fan base is male, and that doesn't make it fucking wrong, okay? And this is not me saying like, oh, I hate fucking female characters in Star Wars. Female characters don't deserve any place in Star Wars. I completely disagree with that shit. The female characters that they wrote are just trash. Asajj Ventress, terrifying, badass, sneaky, evil, corrupt, like Luminara Unduli. I fucking love their character. Here's the stupidity that is behind Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson. So, Star Wars got famous from three main characters, okay? Let's just keep it 100% real. Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Han Solo. Those three guys, are the backbone of the success of the series, okay? Leia was also a part of it, but she wasn't that big of a part. And honestly, her character in A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, it was a well-written character. She wasn't just powerful because she was a woman. When she went out of her way to try and save Han Solo in Return of the Jedi and then strangled Jabba the Hutt to death with the shackles, I mean, that was just so fucking badass. I don't care if man, woman, or robot did that. That shit was awesome. So going back to the business side, so Star Wars is like a business, okay? And Star Wars got successful by writing successful male characters, and Star Wars got successful by catering to a male fan base after the initial success of the first movie. Now, that's like me starting a burger restaurant, and everybody coming there is men, and they all love burgers, and they're like, God, this is the fucking greatest burger. Like, you got the cheeseburger, Luke Skywalker, you got the fucking chili burger, Darth Vader, and you got the fucking barbecue burger, Han Solo, right? So you got these three burgers. People, fuck, I love this fucking burger. And they tell their friends to come to this burger place. It's fucking great. Spend your money. Let's hang out here. Let's talk about these burgers. Let's eat these burgers. These burgers are amazing. They make me want to be a better human. They constantly come to this burger place. And everybody in the world finds out, holy shit, this burger place is fucking amazing. Then the burger store gets sold to another company. It has a woman put in charge. And she decides, I don't like men. And I don't like burgers. And I think that the fan base, our customers, I think that our customers should eat vegan tacos, right? So I think our customers should eat vegan tacos because, it's the right thing to do. And these vegan tacos are great. And really, it's just like a very shitty tofu vegan taco that tastes like crap. And you got all these guys in line. They're like, what the fuck? We like burgers. Why are you serving us vegan tacos? We like burgers. And then the owner comes out and like, you're a fucking racist because you don't like vegan tacos. Like, what the fuck? I didn't sign up for vegan tacos. I never liked vegan tacos in the first place. I like burgers. That's the same shit that's happening with Star Wars. It was a massive success because it was a male-driven, action-packed sci-fi adventure. Arguably the greatest sci-fi genre human history has ever seen. Literally, there's like the only thing that rivals it, at least in my mind, would like kind of be Star Trek, but Star Trek's not cool like Star Wars. Sorry, I just don't care to think. That's my bias there. They just refuse to accept the fact that their fucking product sucks because they don't want men to eat burgers. They want to eat these fucking vegan taco shit. I have some points here that I'm going to talk about, okay? So, first of all, the movie just starts off with, okay, bad guy, Snoke's in charge. Okay, who's in charge? Bad guy, bad man. Bad man controls the galaxy. Who opposes him? Leia Organa, woman, resistance in all caps. Oh, what's the fucking political message there? Hello, it's based in Hollywood. Opening scene. The opening scene is a woman in charge telling a guy what to do, which I don't care about female leadership, but in this film, this is the start of a huge pattern, and you're going to see. The First Order, all evil white men, and there's like one evil Asian guy and like 2 or 3 evil white women. Like that's the First Order is just like white, bad, evil men. Evil white men, okay? This is, again, that fucked up, like, crazy agenda coming from Hollywood trying to poison this movie, and people don't like it. Like, people all over the world uniformly don't like it because this movie is fucking garbage. We're going to continue. Now, you have Poe coming up to the Dreadnought. Amazing, epic as fuck, so cool, and then he makes this stupid comedy phone call. Hello, Hux. I'm looking for your mom. Blah blah blah. Like in the original Star Wars, there was not so much comedy. It was a sci-fi action film. If you want to continue the pattern of fucking financial success, you have to keep on doing what the people are buying. Okay. There's an interview with Rian Johnson and Mark Hamill. And Mark Hamill's like, we need to service the fans. We need to give the fans what they want. What did the fans want? I watched this fucking movie for one reason and one reason only. Luke Skywalker. I wanted to see Luke come back. And yes, I wanted to see him swing his laser sword and fucking kill everybody that was bad. Restore peace and justice to the galaxy. And instead, I got some fucking vegan taco garbage that I'm told I'm racist because I don't like it. What the fuck? Rian Johnson said that he did not want to write a script for the fans. He wanted to write his own Star Wars, which makes zero fucking sense because when Disney bought Star Wars, okay, you did not buy only the rights to the film. What you really did is you bought the fan base because the fans spent their money to make Star Wars what it is, okay? fans like me, okay, I fucking spent tons of money on the Star Wars miniatures game. Good Lord. I don't know how much thousands of dollars I spent on that when I was in my 20s. I bought this shirt, and like this is the kind of fan you really need to serve to. I'm not talking about the girl who buys a shirt at Target, takes a picture with some fucking fake glasses on. It's like, oh, I'm a Star Wars nerd. Like, cool, yeah, you can be part of the Star Wars gang too. I understand, but the people who really made Star Wars what it is, it's a male fan base. So you have to continue to cater to your fan base, or your fucking brand is gonna die. And that's why The Last Jedi was a fucking failure and the worst Star Wars movie in the history of the franchise. The ego involved in saying that you don't need to serve the fans is truly, like, mind-blowing. That's like McDonald's saying, like, you know what, fuck everybody, we're gonna stop selling burgers, and yeah, you all have to eat lettuce. We're gonna sell lettuce. Fuck you if you don't like it, you're racist. Back to the movie. I say the opening space fight was good. It was cinematically, it was appealing to the eyes. And that seems to be the theme of this movie. Visually, it was beautiful, but it was hollow and empty inside. With everything was just like shallow. There was no real depth to the characters. The story didn't make sense, and things didn't line up with the Star Wars universe. It's fucking complete garbage. Poe deciding he wants to take out a dreadnought. He shoots out a couple service cannons, and out of nowhere, these bombers arrive. Freak accident takes out all the bombers except for one woman who, and for some reason, she's wearing a fucking ton of makeup. Which, cool, okay, I get it. Like, whatever, she's a female bomber pilot. Also, Blue Leader is the female in the A-Wing. Like, I'm seeing, like, more and more, like, all the leaders on the Resistance side are all females. And all the leaders on the First Order side are all males. So then, you know, this chick, she's wearing tons of makeup. She's really hot. And then she makes a 1 in a million catch, pushes this button, which why the fuck are they having remotes and buttons in the future like this? And then for some reason, gravity exists for these balls just to fall down and bomb the dreadnought. Like, what the fuck? We cut to Finn. Finn wakes up, immediately depicted as a bumbling fool. Like, hits his head on the glass, comes out, like, has the suit, water shooting off of himself. He looks like an idiot. And then now, this for me is, like, what really made the movie, like, made me realize, like, holy fuck, this movie's gonna suck. And I was so pissed in the theater knowing that I had to sit through and watch this fucking thing. The entire climax of Force Awakens was at the end of the movie when Rey gives the lightsaber to Luke, and we're supposed to see, like, Luke reinvigorated and come back and realize, holy shit, I'm gonna fucking kill this little bastard Kylo because he's fucking shit up and he's evil and I'm Luke Skywalker. Like, he's not afraid of Kylo. He destroyed Darth Vader, like one of the most evil Sith rulers in the entire galaxy. Rey gives lightsaber to Luke, and he just throws it over his shoulder. Fucking who cares? Like, that's more unneeded comedy in a very serious moment in this movie that just completely just makes a joke out of everything. Like, definitely there is some... Rian Johnson, I think... Kathleen Kennedy definitely hates men. There is no doubt with that. She is an avid feminist. She was filmed wearing a shirt saying the Force is female, which was a Nike sponsored shirt. But if you're the president and creative director of LucasArts and you're wearing a shirt that says the Force is female and you're posing with all these girls, and then it starts trending on social media with people, you know, posting themselves and wearing Star Wars shirts saying the Force is female, fucking women are best. Like, no. The Force is like a mythical kind of godlike energy. There's no gender. There is no fucking chromosome determining if it's a man or female. So what the fuck are you doing, bitch? Like, you are ruining the fucking franchise. This is the whole climax of Force Awakens, which was also trash. And then out of nowhere, boom, he just throws it over and just walks away. You know, behind the scenes of the Jedi and the director, I think that's the name of the documentary, the director and the Jedi, you can see that Rian Johnson is just like, you know, constantly talking down to Luke, giving him like these, like kind of like, you know, dominant kind of body. If you study body language, like these kind of slaps, like, you know, do what I say, I don't care. And, you know, they're just like not very good communication between them two. Mark Hamill also said that he fundamentally disagrees with every single thing that the character is about, but he's just like a good guy, so he just went along with it. And he said the truth. He said, if this movie's a colossal success, it's because of Ryan. And he says, and if this movie's a colossal failure, it's because of Ryan. Rian Johnson, this movie fucking sucks, and it's your fault and Kathleen Kennedy's fault. More Kathleen Kennedy. Because if we want to go into something real quick, Colin Trevorrow was supposed to direct the third installment of this series, and he had plans to bring Luke Skywalker back to life because they kill him at the end of this movie, which we're going to go into that as well. Kathleen Kennedy fired him for that. Like, that's like McDonald's bringing out Ronald McDonald on a fucking center stage, pulling out a gun and blowing his fucking brains out and being like, we're going a new direction. Like, that's the face of your fucking franchise. And you're just going to kill him in a very shitty way while depicting him as a bitch throughout the whole movie? Then Rey says, we need Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker says, you don't need Luke Skywalker. This is what I think Ryan talking down to the audience. He says, you think what? I'm going to walk out with a laser sword and face down the whole First Order? Let's see. You mean like you did in the first trilogy that made it the most successful sci-fi action film in the history of humankind? Yes. That's why I'm sitting here in this fucking theater, so can you please give it to me? And you didn't. That's what the fucking fans wanted. That's what you did not deliver, and that is why this movie fucking sucks. You failed as a director, and you'll never direct a Star Wars movie again. It just seemed to me like throughout the entire movie, Rian Johnson was just talking down to the audience and had like this insane ego trip, like, it's gonna be my way, and this is my Star Wars, and I'm not gonna service you fans, and, you know, I'm gonna show you. And no, asshole, the world showed you, because The Last Jedi fell short $200 million in sales. In addition, it was a massive failure in China. And the internet backlash is unheard of. There's never been a fucking internet backlash about any Star Wars movie except this one. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how he pretty much intentionally destroyed Luke Skywalker. And which to me like just shows like why Rian Johnson is a shitty director and a shitty businessman. Like, I'll give it to you. I watched Looper. I don't know if he wrote Looper, but he definitely directed it. And Looper was a very good movie. But it seemed like when he was given the power to write this movie, he just got, like, too overwhelmed with ego. And he ended up just filming a piece of shit. Now we see Luke on this distant planet, Ahch-To. And he walks over to, like, this big sea cow. And he milks it. And he drinks the milk, and he has like this look of like kind of like it's like kind of disgusting, but he looks like he kind of enjoys it. And Rey like kind of looks away, like, oh, you know what the okay, Luke, like this is not done on accident. Okay, this is Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy intentionally shitting on Luke Skywalker for no fucking reason, only to show like basically female superiority, because like Rey is looking down on him like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you're so uncivilized. No, asshole, you fucking wrote him like this because you're a self-hating beta male. Like, what the fuck? How does it make any sense, any business sense, to make fun and destroy the number one reason why your franchise is a success? It's not even your franchise, because you fucked it up. George Lucas is the real mastermind behind this. He fucked up by letting that snake, Kathleen Kennedy, get involved, which I don't think she got that position as president of Lucasfilm through merit. I think she got it through manipulation and politics, but that's a whole other fucking video. I think that they're intentionally killing off these male characters on purpose. Like, they killed off Han Solo, which, fine. Harrison Ford didn't want to be associated with Han Solo anymore. Great, whatever. He's a fucking great actor anyways. He did his part. He'll forever live on in history as one of the greatest sci-fi anti-heroes ever. Kathleen Kennedy kills off Han Solo. Then they kill off fucking Luke Skywalker. All in the name of feminism. And then in the meantime, sorry to say this, but Carrie Fisher, died in real life, living the pseudo glamour of feminism. She died on a plane, and they found cocaine, heroin, and ecstasy in her system. And it's what are you doing? Why are you killing off the main reasons people like this movie? Do you hate men that much? Kylo is the antagonist of this film, and he's just seen as this weak, emotional, emo guy who's kind of fucking mentally distorted, and he doesn't know what he wants, but at the same time he's just an emotional rage child, and he just has these fucking rage quit situations throughout the movie, and he's just seen as just emotionally unstable bad guy. Sure, fine. As the bad guy, that's fine, but remember, Darth Vader was such a terrifying being and such a terrifying villain because he was ruthless and powerful. He was collected, and he knew what he wanted to do, which was kill all Jedi, which he did pretty much, and then rule the galaxy. He wanted to obliterate all sides of the light. So, Kylo is just even if he's just a bad guy, at least make him somewhat badass, make him somewhat respectable. So now we're going to talk about situations in where Rian Johnson clearly shows a bias towards women. So there's this epic space battle going on. They're under attack. Kylo and his fleet of TIE fighters, they shoot the bridge that Leia Organa is on. The bridge blows up, and she gets taken off into space. She gets sucked out into space and apparently dies, right? Personally, I know a lot of people had problems with this part of the film. I actually liked it. I always knew, because I'm fucking deep in the Star Wars game, all right, bruh? I knew that Leia developed Force powers in the future. It should have been done better. It just was sloppy and shitty directing. Okay, she had the Force around her. She flew back. But then she touches the door, and the door opens, and hello, anybody with a third grade knowledge knows that everybody in that area would have been vacuumed out into space and killed. But she touches it, the door's open, cut away. Don't worry about it, fans. It made no sense. I just wanted a fucking movie that made sense. And in my opinion, that's just another bias that they show towards women. Don't kill a woman character. The only one that fucking died was useless Captain Phasma, and it's still in the gray if she died or not. And fucking purple-haired lesbian Jurassic Park lady, which we'll get into later as well. So we go back to the Octu. Chewie killed one of those little porg things, which I think those things were brought into the franchise strictly for merchandise. Okay, just to make porg accessories and porg stuffed figures and forever milk them for what they are. But too bad they're attached to the worst Star Wars movie ever. Chewie's about to eat one of them, and the porg's like, oh my god, why'd you kill one of us? Why did you fucking do that? And then he starts to feel guilty, and he doesn't eat the meat, Fuck his burgers. Let's eat a goddamn vegan taco. Luke then gets on the Falcon, and he's looking around, and he runs into R2-D2, and he's like, nothing can change my mind, R2. And then she shows him a clip of his sister saying, Leia saying, Obi-Wan Kenobi, we need your help. Oh, I changed my mind, cause the whammon, I got the whammon power. So, cut to the ship. Who's explaining Leia's situation where she got sucked out into space and now's in a coma because she came back? somehow. Because Rian Johnson wrote this movie to appease Kathleen Kennedy and not the fans, and that's why it's fucking shit. It's a woman. A woman's in charge, and she's saying, hey, guess what? Another woman's in charge. The purple-haired lady who was the lady who just ran a lot in Jurassic Park. Purple-haired Jurassic Park lady, she is immediately sarcastic, snide, rude, and condescending to Poe. No good leader embodies those qualities. None. Basically, she says, shut up, I'm in charge. So basically, purple-haired Jurassic Park lady says, shut up, I'm in charge, don't question me, get out of my way. Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, you guys are pure trash. This movie is trash, this writing is trash, this fucking character is trash. We cut to Finn now. Now the theme with Finn throughout the whole movie is like he's just a bumbling, stupid fool, and women have to constantly correct him. Like, no, Finn, don't do it that way. Do it this way. You're a dumb guy, and I'm a smart, wise woman. I'm fucking great, and I'll teach you. Like, dude, like, if anything you want to talk about racism, like, they are depicting Finn as like a dumb black guy. Like, that should enrage people. This movie is inherently racist by just showing fucking Finn as just like a dumb black guy. So, it shows Finn, and he's escaping and fleeing like a coward. And then they introduce the worst fucking character in Star Wars history. Chubby Asian. So Chubby Asian is like starstruck, and Chubby Asian's like, oh my god, fucking, you're Finn, you're great. And then she realizes he's gonna leave, and then she like stuns him and knocks him out and ties him up. She's like, oh yeah, fucking girl power. And there's like this scene where she's supposed to like put her gun in and look cool. Like, oh yeah, fucking women are the best. I'm Rian Johnson. I hate myself. I hate men. Like, Star Wars is for fucking not the fans. We're gonna make it for women. This character is the most useless character they have ever put in Star Wars. I will say this though, Rian Johnson, good job, because you did something that nobody could do, and you made me like Jar Jar Binks. Because compared to this Chubby Asian, I want Jar Jar Binks every single time. This Chubby Asian is trash. Garbage character, virtue signaling, like just awful character. Awful, 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 awful. So, Chubby Asian girl goes on this side quest with Finn that is the most pointless fucking side quest ever. Zero value, meaning, and purpose to this entirely bizarre side quest, which is all just a way to, like, again, Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy talking down to the audience, being like, you need to think like this, okay? So Chubby Asian and Finn decide that they need to get on to the Dreadnought and turned off the tracker because they're getting tracked from the lead ship. And the only way they can get on there is with a code breaker. So they call up Orange Yoda Lady from Force Awakens, you know, because you got to seek another woman for guidance. You got another woman leader, you know, like just whamming. No, God forbid if we fucking ask a guy to help us for his guidance. She is having some badass fucking shootout, and then makes some like weird sexual joke about the code guy that they're supposed to find. Like he can please a woman or some shit. I don't know. It was really fucking weird. And says they need to go find this code breaker on this like distant planet, right? They try to explain it to Poe what they need to do. Poe is too stupid. They like depict him as just an idiot. Like they're like, Poe, we got to do it this. He's like, okay, so we got to blow it up. He's like, no, we got to do it like this. And he's like, then we got to blow that up. Like they just show Poe as just like a trigger happy idiot. Of course, because he's a guy, right? You gotta continue. You gotta keep the theme of shitting on men consistent. And so they go to the most useless subplot in Star Wars history. Okay, brought to you by Chubby Asian, the worst fucking character in Star Wars history. How do I know? Everybody fucking hates her. Her action figure is not being sold. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck were you thinking? Like, are you people out in Hollywood so fucking detached from reality? And you know what? I'm starting to believe you are, because anybody with a semblance of operating chromosomes could know that this character is vapid and just terrible and has no fucking sense. So enter the most useless subplot in the fucking history of Star Wars, brought to you by Orange Yoda, Chubby Asian, and the bumbling black fool, which that's how they depicted him throughout the entire movie. It's just like a bumbling fool. And it's just terrible because he had such good potential from The Force Awakens, even though that movie was garbage as well. So they get to this planet. Finn is just like, wow, you know, this place is glamorous. There's casinos, there's beautiful women, there's rich men. You know, all this like gambling is going on. They're drinking, they're wearing elegant clothing. It's great. And then Chubby Asian's like, got this like scowl on her face, like, these people are scum, you know, they're fucking just rich, bad people. And like, Rian Johnson, you lack so much self-awareness. Like, if anything, that room that you depict, it is very, very similar to Hollywood, the cesspool that you live and work out of. So they park their ship on the beach for some reason. Then the police come. They find the code breaker. They're like, oh, that's the code breaker. He's got the fucking red thing on his shirt. Oh, we finally found him. And then the police arrest him and throw him in jail. And turns out all these people are rich because they're arms dealers, right? And they're in jail. And they're like, oh, we're fucked, you know. We can't save our friends now. All you know, the rebellion's going to be crushed. And lo and behold, Ryan's shitty writing prevails. They just happen to be locked in prison with a guy who is also a code breaker. So this guy, he's just been sitting in prison. He could escape because he's a code breaker, but he decides not to. What the fuck? If I was in jail and I had a way to escape, I'd be out in a fucking heartbeat. I'm not just going to hang out in jail. Like, the food can't be that great. So they escape. They don't negotiate a price. They don't negotiate anything. All they say is this guy can help them, break the tracking device on the Dreadnought, which would help the fleet of the Resistance escape. So they escape through the sewers, and then they get to this stable where all the animals are. You can see like there's marks in the animals, and this is supposed to be like symbolizing against animal abuse or whatever. Like, duh, it's fucking common sense, don't abuse an animal. But they have to insert this shit into a fucking Star Wars movie and ruin it for what? What the fuck? What the fuck, Kathleen Kennedy? What the fuck? I have to stop in the middle of this video just to think to myself, like, what the fuck, Rian Johnson? Are you this fucking crazy? This shit is like written by a crazy person. So, of course, they get up there and Finn sees the fucking animal, becomes terrified, and like falls down. It's like, oh my god, looking like a bumbling fool because, of course, he's a man. Again, got to keep that consistent theme. Shit on men from start to finish of this film. So then they escape on these fucking animals. And Rose, having never had the ability to even see or whatever one of these animals before in real life, she can all of a sudden like ride this animal, know how to control it. And so she's riding on the front and Finn is riding on the back. Of course she's leading because she's a woman. This is, like, you know, we have to empower women or whatever the fuck their goddamn political message they're trying to send here. So they trash the casino. They all go through the herd of these animals, stampede and trash the whole casino, destroy everything. They get to their ship, and then the police blow up their ship. And then they're like, oh, what? Fuck, what are we going to do now? And then Finn is like, well, you know, oh, at least we were able to, fucking show it to those people. Like, at least we were able to really trash the casino and like, what the fuck? And then of course, Chubby Asian has to one up him and be like, no, you dumb bumbling fool, you dumb bumbling man. Okay. She walks over to the animal, releases the saddle, and the animal runs away into the wild. And she's like, now it was worth it. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? So you failed your entire mission. Everybody you know and love is going to die because of your failure. The resistance is going to be completely wiped off the planet. The galaxy is going to be enslaved in evil. But because you set one animal free, it's all worth it. So then, out of nowhere, Rian Johnson's shitty, sloppy writing and sloppy directing rears its ugly head. The fucking Codebreaker shows up out of nowhere with BB-8. They just flies and like, hey, we stole this ship and we somehow knew where you are and we're here to save you and take you away. Worst subplot ever. What the fuck? I can't stop saying that. With this whole subplot, who approved this fucking garbage? Oh yeah, Kathleen Kennedy. Fucking great job. Great job. So then we cut back to Rey and Kylo force Skype calling each other. Like, just talking, and then, Kylo's like, yeah, Luke turned on me, blah, blah, blah. And then Rey, who is a complete Mary Sue, which means she's basically a character that is only powerful and strong because she's a woman. Keep in mind that she's only known about the Force or whatever for like less than a week, because this whole movie happens in the span of like 3 or 4 days from the beginning of Force Awakens to the current moment. And her and Luke Skywalker engage in a melee battle, and she defeats him, like knocks him down and almost kills him with a lightsaber. This bitch picked up a lightsaber like 2 or 3 days ago and is able to defeat the strongest Jedi in the history of the Jedi Order. How does it even make fucking sense? So she then lectures Luke after she knocks him down how she can bring Kylo back to the light. And she leaves on the Millennium Falcon to go get Kylo. And then Yoda shows up from the sky and fucking does some Force lightning, burns the sacred Jedi tree, destroys the temple, and Yoda says, Rey has everything needed to carry the fucking future Jedi forward because she's a woman, right? I mean, that could be just translated like, okay, she's like the protagonist, sure, but I don't know, man. Rey is just a shitty character. I think Rey is just like, Daisy Ridley did a very good job playing her, but the character is just hollow. Like in The Force Awakens, she picks up a lightsaber for the first time ever, and she's able to defeat Kylo Ren, who was the, number one apprentice of Luke Skywalker, who then, after leaving Luke Skywalker, goes to the dark side and is trained by the most evil guy in the galaxy, the most powerful Sith Lord. She's able to beat him somehow. Okay? That is like, I practice jujitsu, okay? And so I've grappled with a black belt, okay? And a black belt fucks me up every single time, every single way. It's just I'm inevitably fucked when I grapple with a black belt. I'm a white belt, 1 stripe. And, that is like a guy who's a white belt, and he's training with the black belt for years and years and years. And then his sensei's like, you fucking suck, go to this other gym. And it's the number 2 gym in the world. And then the number 2 guy trains this guy and trains him and trains him and trains him. So he has training with the number 1 guy in the world, number 2 guy in the world. And then you got some asshole who comes off of the street, has 0 training at all in jiu-jitsu, and he comes in and he just beats this guy easily. It makes no fucking sense in any parallel that you try. The only reason Rey won in the first movie, Force Awakens, is because she's a woman. That's it. She's a Mary Sue. It shows chubby Asian and Finn back. They sneak on this dreadnought and they're about to like disactivate the tracking system. And then lo and behold, guess who betrays them? The fucking code breaker. Because, you know, you got to show that just men are scum. And he betrays them and they're about to get killed. And the whole fucking resistance is about to get destroyed. And in the meantime, Rey is somehow able to magically find Kylo by flying out the Millennium Falcon and jettisoning herself into his ship. And then he finds her and he takes her to the throne room. Now, I will say that the throne room fight scene is fucking badass. But they just kill Snoke meaninglessly and like just stupidly, just cut him in, like with some like backhanded trickery, and then Rey and Kylo fight the royal guards and have a fucking epic showdown. It's badass, but of course Rey has to end up saving Kylo at the end because, you know, even though he's the most badass, fucking most unparalleled force in the universe in regards to the dark side powers, this scruffy nerf herder chick from fake Tatooine is somehow a better skilled lightsaber combatant than he is. And she ends up throwing him a lightsaber and he kills a guy. Pretty badass way. He just turns it on and the laser goes through his head and he fucking dies. So that's the best part of the movie right there. The throne scene. That shit is just fucking amazing. We go back to Chubby Asian and Finn. And Chubby Asian and Finn are about to get killed. And then out of nowhere, you know, just more miraculous shit happens. Like, you know, BB-8 was able to hack a fucking ATST and shoot and have them escape. And then, you know, Finn, the only person Finn's able to defeat in this entire movie is a white woman who's with the fucking First Order. And she's like, you always were scum. And he's like, rebel scum. Oh, fuck, it's so cool and edgy, bro. How did you think that up, Rian Johnson? How? Where in the depths of your creativity were you able to pull that from? God, he's such a talentless piece of shit. So then Kylo and Rey force pull fight over a lightsaber. Of course, she wins because she's a woman. And she pulls the thing and then I guess she just disappears. Like, they don't show it, but she just takes off and leaves and somehow is able to escape everybody on the ship, not pursuing her, and then escape on some kind of pod or vehicle or something. I don't know, but they don't show it. Now we have the rebels. They're on a planet that's not Hoth, even though it looks just like Hoth. And, you know, that scene is cinematically beautiful, but it's hollow. Again, it's garbage. It's fucking just shit. It, like, looks beautiful, but it's just shit. It's like a hot girl with a shitty personality. Looks good on the outside, but, like, once you digest it, it's just fucking garbage, and you realize, like, I want nothing to do with this. So they get to this planet Crate, and they're evacuating all the escape pods, and then they start getting shot down, and then purple-haired Jurassic Park lady decides that she is gonna fucking light speed her ship through Snoke's ship, and then, you know, that somehow was able to kill Snoke's ship and then kill a bunch of other people as well, to allow the rebel members to escape, right? Which makes zero sense. Like, why didn't they do that in 1977 with A New Hope? Like, why didn't they just like autopilot an X-Wing into the Death Star, or autopilot like 100 X-Wings into the Death Star? What the fuck? Rian Johnson, you are talentless shit, and Kathleen Kennedy, you're a moron. So now they're on Crate. They have like this last final showdown where they have to wait for somebody to come save them, and everything is literally set up for an epic, amazing battle that could be one of the greatest in Star Wars history. And Rian Johnson, he just takes the script for this potential thing and he just wipes his ass with it, and then he spits on it and he rubs it in our face, and he's like, yeah, you gotta like this, if not you're fucking racist or your fans are wrong. Okay, he could have had such an epic showdown. So they go to Crate, and the whole First Order's army is coming down on them. They have these giant AT-ATs. They are lined up, and then the rebels are hidden in a little base with a very thick wall, right? It's like this big, thick steel wall. Chubby Asian and Finn somehow miraculously escape the ship and slide right in under, like the walls closing, and they slide right on in under just in time because everything's a coincidence at this point. And they make it on in, and they're like, hey, we're here to help you guys fight to the end. So they're surrounded, and they have like this big cannon, and it's like this, Finn says it's Death Star technology. And so they're like, okay, we got to mount up a counteroffensive, a counterattack. And so what they do is they ride these like ski things directly at the AT-ATs. They never fire a single laser. They're just coasting out to the AT-ATs. Now it looks cool. The red salt is shooting up in the air, but this is like Rian Johnson, just like it shows his lack of talent, lack of ability to think deeply. Why are they riding straight out into these AT-ATs? For what? They're not shooting. And then the AT-ATs start blowing them up, and then they're like, oh, fuck, we're going to die. Oh, my God, we got to retreat. Why were you fucking riding out into the AT-ATs in the first place? And then, of course, the TIE fighters come, start killing everybody, and who comes to save them? Rey and Chewie. Rey shows up out of nowhere and starts saving the useless ski things from just aimlessly heading into the AT-AT. Seriously, because if somebody, just tell me in the comments below, like, what the fuck was the point of this? They're like skiing out into this row of AT-ATs. They're getting picked off. The TIE fighters start coming, killing them all, and then guess who comes and saves the day? Oh, Rey. Somehow she escaped from the ship, found Chewbacca, and then they knew that they were on this planet, and they were able to find their location. And she starts, apparently she's an amazing gunnery pilot as well. She can shoot these TIE fighters down effortlessly, and of course she saves the day once again. And then Finn decides that, okay, you know what, I'm gonna fucking suicide run into this Death Star cannon because they're gonna kill everybody. And honestly, it would have been a noble way for him to go out. And he goes full speed ahead. His guns start to melt. His ship starts to get destroyed. It's like the iconic moment for a man to be a hero. He'll go out dying like a fucking champion. It would have been a solid way for his character to go. And right as soon he's about to hit this cannon, Chubby Asian crashes into him, almost fucking kills him, and then lectures him from the rubble. She's like, we're not going to win this war by killing what we hate, but saving what we love. And then kisses him and passes out. And she fucking doesn't die. And that really pissed me off because she needs to die. She's a terrible character. Like, I want to see Rey cut her head off or Kylo Ren impale her. She's an awful character. Then he drags her back into the base. All is lost. All hope is lost. And then out of nowhere, Luke Skywalker arrives. And finally, the audience is like, fuck yes. Finally, I've been waiting since the Return of the Jedi in the 1980s for this. Luke is going to come and have this fucking badass showdown. So he sees Leia. He kisses her on the head. He gives her Han Solo's dice. And he goes out there to face down Kylo. All the AT-ATs fire on him. They fire a huge cloud of sand dust or salt dust pops up. And it all settles. And then Luke is just standing there. And it would have been fucking cool. But Rian Johnson doesn't know how to be cool. Doesn't know what it's like to be a guy who wins and whatnot. So he just has Luke do this stupid ass thing. Like, it would have been way more badass for him just to step out and stare Kylo down and say nothing. So then Kylo comes down and he starts, yelling at Luke, and the stage is set to have literally one of the most iconic and badass lightsaber fights ever in the history of Star Wars, and it would have been just awesome. So then Kylo swings at Luke. Luke dodges, moves around, and then Kylo swings at Luke again. He does like this Matrix back dive, and he dodges him. And then Luke puts his lightsaber away, and he just basically tells him, like, if you kill me, I'll always be with you. And then Kylo pushes his, swings through Luke. It goes through him. Camera cuts away, and Luke is completely unscathed. And he turns around, looks at Luke, and he puts the lightsaber in him, and it finds out that this is a fucking force projection. Luke is astral projecting himself across the fucking galaxy like Ace Ventura in Ace Ventura 2 when nature calls. Like, he's astral projecting himself. What the fuck is going on? People just, Rian Johnson just thinks, oh, it's the Force. Like, oh, any hole in my plot or anything, just the Force. Oh, just the Force. Oh, the Force. Like, oh, it's just the Force. The Force did it. The Force. It's the Force. Like, it's such shitty writing, shitty directing, just so sloppy and just pure garbage. So now Rey is on the backside of the rebel base and helping everybody escape, but they're all blocked by these rocks. And what does she do? She puts her hand out. She learned about the Force 4 days ago, and now she can lift up thousands of pounds of rocks. Why? She's a woman. Women are strong with the Force. I don't fucking know, but that's the only reason it seems this way. She's a Mary Sue character. Then, the most disappointing shit ever. They go back to Luke on Ahch-To, and they show him sitting there, and he's exhausted from all the energy he exerted, and he fucking dies. He just disappears and dies. What shit writing, what a shit movie, what a shit director, what a shit president. She's the one really to blame for all this fucking garbage because she gave it the green light. This is a complete abomination of a movie, fiscally irresponsible as a business, and most importantly, a giant slap in the face to every single diehard Star Wars fan who is the reason why Star Wars is successful. Like, you got this loser Freddie Prinze Jr. online talking shit about white males, saying like, oh, it's just white males who live in the basement who are unhappy with this fucking franchise. Yeah, those same white males live in the basement, and the walls are covered with Star Wars figurines from all fucking movies, from battle droids to stormtroopers to clone troopers to Obi-Wans, replica lightsabers, the whole 9 yards. You're too dumb to know that's how a business works. You cater to the fans spend money. People vote with their money. And if you make a shitty product, like you made this shitty movie, people don't vote. I will never see The Last Jedi again in a format that I have to pay for it. Okay, I would never, ever do it. The new Han Solo movie looks like garbage. I will not see Han Solo. The next Star Wars movie coming out, I'm not going to see it. Why the fuck am I going to watch that movie? Just to watch, what, Rey? The most, like, poorly written character aside from Chubby Asian? What? The only one I have to really look forward to is Kylo Ren, because he's the only one that's, like, somewhat interesting of a character. But what is there to look forward to anymore? So anyways, that's my rant. I just think it's a terrible movie. I think it's so fucking bad. I cannot believe that Hollywood, Rian Johnson, and fucking cancer, Kathleen Kennedy, this rabid dog of a feminist, like, feels like they can just make a movie for their little circle jerk in Hollywood and think it's going to be a success. I'm glad this movie fucking failed, because they need to know that, like, this, like, people like me are who you make the movies for. Like, I know that sounds selfish, but, like, you have to understand your demographics as a business. You have to understand what got you here in the first place. You know, like, that's like saying, like, you know, you go to the gym, you got jacked, you're dieting, you're lifting weights, you get in really good shape, and then you're, like, in this great shape, and you're like, you know what? I don't need to do everything I needed to do before. Like, I'm just going to eat hamburgers every day. And, you know, where I am now, what I did to get me here, like, it's not relevant. It's not relevant anymore. Like, that's not how life works. Like, that's what makes me really question the mental stability of Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. Because these people living out in Hollywood, they're not right. They're like detached from the common person. They're detached from they live in such an echo chamber that all their friends are like, yeah, fucking great. Like, Ryan, great script. Everything's great. Everything's awesome. Like, the only person who voiced their concern was Mark Hamill. And I'm disappointed in Mark Hamill for not fighting, for not standing up, like, for the fans. Like, he's just a nice guy, apparently. You know, he's got all this time in the world to talk shit about Trump and the presidency, but, you know, he wouldn't stand up for his fans. He wouldn't stand up for the Star Wars legacy. Like, I don't know. It's just really disappointing. And the fact that Kathleen Kennedy fired Colin Trevorrow for wanting to bring Luke Skywalker back, which, by the way, that's the only way to save this whole abortion of a fucking movie, is really, the real situation is this. You need to bring Luke back. You need to put Rey going to the dark side with Kylo, and Luke needs to kill both Rey and Kylo. That's the only way you're going to save it. This movie is unsalvageable. And in the midst of all of that killing, somehow Chubby Asian needs to die too. So I know that, like, I run a dating channel and it's just, like, completely, like, it seems irrelevant, but for the men that are watching, like, I believe there is, like, an active, like, propaganda against men, or, like, they're just, like, trying to shit on men everywhere from, like, the liberal left side. Like, you know, you see it in commercials, you see it in television, you see it on social media, and all this stuff comes from, you know, California and that, like, really liberal area. And, like, I hate to sound like I'm getting political, but, you know, you have to really look at shit for what it is. And why do these people feel a reason to, like, shit on men? What's the purpose? Star Wars was made great because of men. Great men in the stories, great men who wrote it, and great men who bought into it and spent all their money on it, right? I mean, when you have Kathleen Kennedy saying stuff like, we need less white males working on Star Wars, are you fucking crazy? That doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is, does the person do their job well or above average? You know, if it's all white guys who do the job above average, if you want to have an above average product, an above average movie, and above average sales, you get above average people who are measured on an objective level, not just because of the color of their skin or their gender. And that's the thing, that Kathleen Kennedy is the real big problem here, because she wants to focus on, like, diversity And, she's looking at things in a very stupid way. Like, we need a female director. No, you don't. You need a director that's good, regardless of gender. We've already decided that Rian Johnson is shit, so he's out. So he's your first failed woman director. Now, you need to find somebody else. Just bringing people aboard because of their skin color or gender or minority, it's just like complete garbage. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Doesn't make any fucking sense. If you just look at it in a logical way, America is majority white. So if you look at things on a fucking bell curve, most likely the most people involved in your work are going to be white. The most people who your target audience are going to be white. If you're just shitting on these people just for the color of their skin, A, that's inherently racist in itself. And B, what the fuck are you doing? This is Star Wars. This is not politics. What the fuck are you doing? Seriously, it's not your platform to talk down to the world and tell them that, like, you should do it like this and this should be the way it is. No, if you want to do that, get into politics. Start a fucking YouTube channel. Don't use fucking Star Wars. It's complete garbage. That's why this woman ruined the fucking movie and ruined the franchise. And that's why Rian Johnson is trash too. Garbage, self-hating male that intentionally wrote this story to make Kathleen Kennedy happy and to just make women happy, and just everybody in Hollywood so detached from the normal fan that they're just constantly jerking each other off like, oh yeah, this is fucking great, this is amazing, like, oh yeah, this is fucking great. Like, no, nobody stood up to him, nobody said this is fucking shit, and now we have this fucking abortion of a movie.